Hello friends, this is Vision Overseas. We are providing both online and offline coaching with most repeated and authentic practice material. Once you join our coaching, you will be updated with latest practice material for next quarter. If you have any question or query, you can visit our website thevisionoverseas.com, and even you can contact us on given WhatsApp number for more details. Thank you.
Humans are faced with many challenges, one of which is climate change. An experiment was conducted on the environment and climate in the 1930s when people first noticed climate change. Humans have been trying to change their lifestyles to deal with it, but the observation of climate change is difficult from area to area. A method is introduced to help understand the mechanism of the climate system. Researchers predict that temperatures will increase about 2 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit by the end of the century. What's less certain is what rising temperatures mean for the planet. Some climate models predict subtle changes. Others forecast rising sea levels, which could flood coastal areas around the world. Weather patterns could change, making hurricanes more frequent. Severe droughts could become more common in warm areas, and species unable to adapt to the changing conditions would face extinction, although much remains to be learned about global warming. Many organizations advocate cutting greenhouse gas emissions to reduce the impact of global warming. Consumers can help by saving energy around the house, switching to compact fluorescent light bulbs, and driving fewer miles in the car each week. These simple changes may help keep the Earth cooler in the future.
you don't like doing. English, as you've already read, is not a pure language. I don't think there really are any pure languages in the world, but English is definitely not a pure language. English, in fact, has borrowed from over 350 languages in its history. So it's a variety of many languages. Some people say it's like a dog, a mongrel dog, a dog that's been made up of many different dogs. The English language is like that. And by looking at the history of the English language, we learn about the history of the English people. The two things are closely connected. So in fact, today we're not only learning about language, but we're learning about history. And the fact that English has borrowed words from over 350 languages has been viewed differently throughout history. So, for example, in Shakespeare's time, people were very angry about words which were not, they thought, original English words, words which came from other languages. They didn't like them.
What if you could make your sleep more efficient? As a sleep scientist, this is the question that has captivated me for the past 10 years. Because while the light bulb and technology have brought about a world of 24-hour work and productivity, it has come at the cost of our naturally occurring circadian rhythm and our body's need for sleep. The circadian rhythm dictates our energy level throughout the day. And only recently, we've been conducting a global experiment on this rhythm, which is putting our sleep health and ultimately our life quality in jeopardy. Because of this, we aren't getting the sleep we need, with the average American sleeping a whole hour less than they did in the 1940s. For some reason, we decided to wear it as a badge of honor that we can get by on not enough sleep. This all adds up to a real health crisis. Most of us know that poor sleep is linked to diseases like Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease, stroke, and diabetes. And if you go untreated with a sleep disorder like sleep apnea, you're more likely to get many of these illnesses. But did you know about sleep's impact on your mental states? Poor sleep makes us make risky, rash decisions and is a drain on our capacity for empathy. When sleep deprivation literally makes us more sensitive to our own pain, it's not so surprising that we have a hard time relating to others and just generally being a good and healthy person when we're sleep deprived.
The second big driver that will transform our future is, of course, demographics. 1 billion children are alive today, all of whom will be adults within the next 18 years. All of them will see your lifestyle on CNN or NBC, even if they don't own a TV. They will see it through the door of the bar. They will see it through the posters on the side of the highway, even if they don't own a car. 1 billion children, all of whom will consume resources. Linked to that, an urbanization trend at a pace of which we have never seen before. 300 million people in China alone will move from rural areas into cities in the next 8 or 9 years. Another 450 million people will move in Africa off the land and into cities. Most of them, most city dwellers, already live in slums. They have no running water, or maybe the very first service they have is access to a tap 100 meters away. They have, at the moment, very little access to electricity, but they're there, and they're demanding infrastructure, and their homes will grow from the 1-story shack to 2 stories to 3 stories. And then once the mains water supply arrives, another crisis comes. As of course, as you've seen it, which is the puddles of water everywhere, the drains that are full of soap and human waste, the earth that used to be dry, because people only carried 10 litres, 100 metres every 10 hours. Now we have leaking taps, we have sewage problems, and we have a whole host of other issues requiring more infrastructure.
Now let's talk video. Video and audio as a tool for mobile. And here's the thing. It also works beautifully for social media and web too. You kill 3 birds with 1 stone. Do you know why TV does so well and films do so well? It's a really easy answer. We humans react best to seeing pictures of other humans talking back to us and playing all these stories and whatnot. Yet you'll find that most of the web is text. Yet when I have a 4-minute video, it does better, or when I have a slideshow that has an audio track to it, they do so much better than all my other content because we need that. This is a flat screen. We need to liven it up somehow. This is a small screen. It's not easy to read lengthy text, but if I create a lengthy article and then I create a 3-minute video or a set of 3-minute videos about it, then I'm now just repurposed and I have something to use. I have differentiated from all my competitors, and I use a fancy QR code to link to these. Oh my God, we're innovating at the speed of, okay.
Good afternoon, Miss Davis. I was told by James that you wanted to see me in your office.
Oh, I did. Thank you for coming, Jean. Have a seat. How are you? Is everything going fine?
Yes, pretty much. What about you, Miss Davis? I haven't seen you for a while.
Yes, I was away for a while. Actually, I went to Arizona and met your mother there. Didn't she tell you about it?
No, she didn't, but that's great. How is she?
She is fine. To me, she is still as exuberant as she was 20 years ago. You will never know how great a teacher your mother was. Anyway, how was your semester?
It was fun. The teachers were nice, especially Ms. McKenna. I loved her class. Strange, I never liked math and struggled so much until I met Miss McKenna.
That's great. How was she so wonderful?
She spoke softly and explained thoroughly. She answered all of the questions earnestly. I wish all my teachers were like Miss McKenna.
Many of her students made that comment in the past, too.
Who could have guessed that I could get an A in math?
Why not? You're smart. You can get an A in any subject you want as long as you try.
I believe so. I should have tried harder instead of giving up and neglecting the hard subjects.
A hurricane is a massive storm system. In fact, it's the most powerful type of storm on Earth. Hurricanes form over warm tropical waters and frequently move toward land. Before I forget to mention this, hurricanes are also called typhoons or cyclones. It depends on where exactly they form. Not all hurricanes are alike. Some are, more powerful than others. Meteorologists have a rating system for them. They use the term category to rank every hurricane that forms. The scale ranks hurricanes according to their wind speed and ability to cause damage. A Category 1 hurricane is the weakest. A Category 5 hurricane is the most powerful. A hurricane typically begins as a tropical storm. It has wind speeds between 50 to 100 kilometers per hour. When the wind blows faster than 100 kilometers per hour, the tropical storm has become a hurricane. A Category 1 hurricane's winds are between 100 to 130 kilometers per hour. A Category 2 hurricane has winds up to 160 kilometers per hour. Winds between 160 and 185 kilometers per hour indicate a Category 3 hurricane. A Category 4 hurricane has wind speeds up to 220 kilometers per hour. Anything above that is a Class 5 hurricane. Thankfully, those are quite rare. They are simply devastating when they form and make landfall. Oh, by the way, before you ask, typhoons and cyclones use different measuring systems. So what I just described only applies to hurricanes.
It's common sense that some objects are harder than others. We refer to this characteristic as hardness. But what exactly is hardness? Let me tell you. It's the ability of a material to resist being damaged, scratched, or marred in any way. There's even a way to measure it. It's the Mohs scale of hardness. A German scientist, a mineralogist named Friedrich Mohs came up with the scale in 1812. Here's how he made it. Mohs took 10 different minerals. Then he rated them from 1 to 10 based on their ability to withstand damage and to damage other materials. Talc received a rating of 1. It's soft, it's easily scratched, and can hardly damage anything. Diamond received a rating of 10. It's the hardest natural substance known to man. The other objects on the scale that number from 2 to 9 are gypsum, calcite, fluorite, apatite, feldspar, quartz, topaz, and corundum. I see worried looks on your faces. Don't worry about writing them down. They're listed on page 234 of your text. Take a look. Now, what about the hardness of other objects? It depends on which of the 10 minerals can scratch them. For instance, your fingernails get a rating of 2.5 on the Mohs scale. So talc and gypsum can't scratch them, but calcite can. What are some others? Let's see. Iron is rated between 4 and 5. Glass is between 6 and 7. And steel is close to 8.
Let's see what's happening on the seabed. Okay, so these really remarkable features are known as black smokers. Don't forget, we're now 2.5 kilometres down. The light, it's all pitch black. What we're seeing is the lights from the submersible. So imagine you're looking at this out from your porthole and it supports...
Hiroshi Ishiguro, a robot engineer from Osaka University, makes Geminoids, extremely realistic human robots. It's important that they look exactly like real people for Ishiguro to carry out his research. He's interested in understanding philosophical questions such as what is identity and what might happen if a person and their robot double were able to be in two places at the same time. His Geminoid robots have rubber skin and their heads are controlled by motors. These move the head, blink, twitch, shrug the shoulders, and make the robot appear to be breathing during conversations. As well as this, there are motors which are connected to a computer, microphone, and camera. These scan the controller's voice and face movements, then send messages back to the robot, which copies them. The robot's body and skin stop at his chest, though, and he has no robotic legs, so you won't see him.
In its short life, the Internet has become an agent of revolutionary change and is one of the fastest tools to promote and defend freedom and to facilitate democratic access to information and knowledge. It has emerged as one of today's greatest instruments of progress and has gradually become a part of the vital infrastructure of global social, economic, cultural, and political life. The Internet's effect on our lives is pervasive. Over the past decade, the use of email, the web, and blogs have become part of the daily routine of more than 1 billion Internet users. Today, the Internet access touchpoints have outgrown the traditional PC-based Internet browsers, Internet Explorer, Firefox, to desktop applications, mobile phones, and satellite navigational devices in vehicles and living rooms. More and more people are buying movie tickets, air tickets, travel packages, railway tickets, and paying bills online. Online gaming is projected to increase by 141% by 2011 in the Asia-Pacific region, and mobile gaming to increase by 119% by a leading gaming industry. Very soon, we will see the dawn of the video age, when video will be used for buying, communicating, learning, and socializing. Online chat and blogs are reducing the gap between private and public life of the present generation. Cyber cafes have taken over pubs and bars for socializing, in spite of the opposing forces of regional borders, copyright, censorship, network blocking, etc.
Now, as you know already, there will be a midterm exam next week. The exam will be an open book, open note, and open internet resource exam. But you can't use a classmate or me during the exam. Many of the questions on this exam don't have definitive answers. I wish to assess your critical thinking ability and your ability to combine ideas. A poorly organized answer will not get the same grades as a well-organized answer. Here are some good ways to study for the exam. First of all, it would be better for you to organize and review your lecture notes. That means you may need to compile notes and lab test results if you have not done that already. I strongly suggest that you write trial outlines before the exam. I think it will make you feel more comfortable. Just stop by my office.
This is Scientific American's 60-Second Science. I'm Cynthia Graber. This will just take a minute. Do psychological conditions vary by sex? More boys are diagnosed with autism and more girls with depression. Scientists at the University of Rochester Medical Center want to understand any such sex differences. So the researchers studied smell and gender in nearly microscopic roundworms. What can we learn about our brains from tiny worms? Well, these creatures have a relatively simple and well-mapped nervous system. Some are male and some are hermaphroditic. Scientists presented the worms with two scents. One smelled like buttery popcorn, another like green vegetables. Hermaphrodites mostly crawled towards buttery popcorn, while males preferred vegetables. Then scientists manipulated some of the hermaphroditic neurons to behave like they were male, and the newly male worms now crawled towards the green peppery smell. What does this tell us about male and female human brains? Well, not much yet. But what surprised researchers is that brain neurons present in both sexes, like those that register smell preference, have different characteristics depending on the sex of the worm. This is a step on a path scientists hope will lead to greater understanding about our own sex differences and mental illness. Thanks for the minute. For Scientific American's 60-Second Science, I'm Cynthia Graber.
This is Scientific American's 60-Second Science. I'm Steve Mirsky. Got a minute? A direct effect on human health related to climate change is the likely increase in infectious diseases transmitted by insects or through contaminated water. In the March 25th issue of the New England Journal of Medicine, infectious disease researcher Emily Schumann points out that insects are more active at higher temperatures and broaden their range. Altered weather patterns bring drought to some areas, flooding to others, and a higher likelihood of water contamination to both. The World Health Organization predicts a 3 to 5% increase in the population at risk for malaria, with a temperature increase of 2 to 3 degrees Celsius, and 2 degrees is our best-case scenario right now. The WHO also sees 10% more diarrheal diseases related to unclean water by 2030 due to climate change. Schumann urges the development of warning systems to spot disease outbreaks early, along with continued research into treatments and vaccines, which, she writes, will go a long way in preventing human suffering that could otherwise occur as a result of climate change. Thanks for the minute. For Scientific American's 60-Second Science, I'm Steve Mirsky.
Even if you have used cosmetics for years without problems, one or more ingredients can still trigger an allergic reaction.
Some people regarded this as eyewash, whereas some people asked for the status of their complaints and actions taken.
In the winter it gets harsh, but it won't be an issue since there is a heater.
Law is beneficial to investors by protecting their rights and avoiding any improper actions in the market.